space, not the planes in the sky, not the shipless seas, nor the vehicles on the ground.
Ecto Radio. The ghost hunting badasses.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Only on the Supernatural Radio Network. Beer-fueled, whiskey-filtered, paranormal radio.
And welcome to Ecto Radio. I'm the Hitman.
And I am Racer.
Cool show today. We're going to be talking about the top 10 famous ghost photographs.
Excellent.
Here we go. And then we have our weekly ghost video. It's from another group.
Okay.
Could it be faked? Sure. But it's funny nonetheless. And there's a few things to talk about. Things they might be doing right. So
Cool.
We'll have to see how all that goes. But anyways. So, yeah, different format now.
Yeah, a little bit different.
But, yeah, we're going to give it a shot and see how it goes. So, that is all cool.
Heck
We
yeah.
got news. Do you find news?
We have news tonight.
Okay. So,
Most of it not on the paranormal side. Well, still paranormal, but animals.
animals.
Yeah.
Ghosts?
No.
No. Okay.
Interesting animal.
I'll
And a
save it.
Bigfoot update, actually.
Bigfoot update?
A Bigfoot update, yeah. So,
Well, you know there's that thing on Facebook, Find Bigfoot?
Mhm.
So, and they're always posting videos up on there if you're interested in, the latest Bigfoot sightings. And I think sometimes they go a little too far in their analysis, but sometimes they generate some stuff that's kind of interesting.
yeah.
Like Bigfoot. Do you know Big Feet? I guess that's plural, right? Big Feet?
Big feats.
Big Feets? They throw rocks at you.
Do they really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
supposedly
that.
if you're in their area and they don't like you, they'll throw rocks or sticks and stuff to, F off there, buddy. They'll throw a
Ward you
rock.
away. Get away.
And then, of course, there's the odor.
Yeah,
But
I know the odor.
Apparently, something else I didn't know is they're very curious, and they'll like climb trees and like watch you and, just kind of like keep an eye on you and all that kind of stuff.
That's interesting.
But, yeah.
But
Yeah.
never do they try to make friends.
No, they're always like, Unless you get into the rape stories and
Yeah.
all that, but then,
Yeah.
we've gone somewhere.
Bigfoot stole my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating to watch some of the videos and see all the latest, because he's kind of, I don't know what kind of an in he has, but he's putting up videos that are shot like only 5 days ago.
Oh, wow.
So, it's not just these old grainy videos. It's this new stuff that people having cameras are going out and, they see things.
Bigfoot's also that one thing that people take very seriously, too.
Oh, it is, yeah.
I mean, it's just as serious as people, believing in ghosts and whatnot. You have your avid Bigfoot followers.
Exactly. So, okay, so let's get in. What's number one on our list? You'll have to...
All right, the number one on our list is the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall.
Oh, okay.
This photo was taken in 1936 during a photo shoot for County Life magazine by Indra Shira. The famous real ghost picture of an apparition descending the stairs has been viewed around the world. Indra saw the white form taking shape and ordered his assistants to snap a picture of the staircase. His assistant, who did not see the white vapor, bet Shira that nothing would be in the picture. He lost 5 English pounds for the bet. The home in this famous photograph is captured in the Raynham Hall in Norfolk. King George of England and others have seen a ghost that they've deemed the Brown Lady before this photo was taken. She has not been seen since the 1936 photo. You can tell from the smudge in the upper center of the photo that it was taken through glass. Anything that was smeared on the glass, even a shaft of light that fell on the glass, would have produced this image.
Yep. Yeah, they're saying it was shot through glass. Here's another one. This one's kind of interesting. They what they did is they overlaid. You have to look around me.
Yeah.
An image of the Virgin Mary, which is what they thought was put on the glass.
Right.
And keep in mind, cameras back in those days, they didn't have autofocus. So if you put something, your exposure and your f-stop, you're set to affinity. And you put something close to the lens, it's going to be blurred.
Right.
And of course, with the glass, you could make it somewhat translucent, like in the photograph. So that one that's the most famous one. I mean, when you look at ghost photography on the internet,
Right.
the brown lady pops up
First.
So, yeah. What's this other one?
The second one, this is another one that tends to pop up a lot, is the ghost in car photo. It was taken in 1959 by Mabel Chinnery. This famous ghost photo has an intriguing story. After visiting the grave of her mother, Mabel turned and took a picture of her husband, who was waiting for her in the car. What Mabel didn't expect was her mother coming along for a ride. So they're basically saying that the mother was leaving with them, or she...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, there's a lot of different explanations for this one, one of which they're saying that it's just the seatbelt, the collar, I guess.
Yeah.
They're saying is a part of the seatbelt in the back, light coming in, because you can see the direction of the sun from the man's face in the front seat. Mm-hmm. And then the two eyes would just be, in the older cars, I forgot what they're calling them, the exact terminology. We'll call them decorative features, because I can't think of the name right now.
Okay.
But the hang in the back. And I don't know. We'd have to. I guess the way to check that out would be to figure out what kind of a car it is, and then get a look on the inside of the car. Maybe there's an image or something that might give that away.
Yeah. The way that it reflects inside the car.
Yeah, that's the one that stands the most, because it just, how much of it is 3-dot and how much of it is just, really something there.
And for 3-dot, when you mention that, I mean, there might be some people listening that aren't really familiar with 3-dot.
We're talking about it's just a pattern, and we see a face because we're naturally inclined to recognize faces from birth. And so when you see, well, like the ink smudge test they give you, you see a butterfly or whatever, we make something more out of what's actually there. We want to turn it into a face. And you can see that on this, there's a mouth and eyes, and it's about the right height, yada, yada. Yeah, it must be a ghost. It must be a person. So, but yes.
Very interesting. Mm-hmm. Now, the next one is one that I actually, surprisingly enough, I had never seen or heard, but it's called the Pink Lady. And these pictures have been floating around for a while, and even appeared in the documentary entitled World's Scariest Ghost Pictures. They were allegedly taken at an abandoned mansion near Greencastle, Indiana. I think sometime in the late 90s. But a pair of amateur ghost hunters named Guy Winters and Terry Lambert, and they captured the figure of a woman who was not seen at the time the photo was taken, but appeared once they had been developed. Analyzed by photo experts, the images of the woman, thought to be the spirit of a young woman who died in the home in the early 20th century, have been declared as authentic since the images exist on the negatives, thereby reducing, though not necessarily eliminating, the possibility of fraud. So they're basically saying it reduces the chance, but fraud has not been completely ruled out. If legitimate, these are some of the clearest images of a quote-unquote ghost ever captured, which is, of course, what makes them difficult to accept as real. And they're also saying that if they are hoax, then it's done extremely well.
Well, you know what I don't like about this is you can't find the before or afters.
Right.
And then we can't see exactly, okay, what angle are you in comparison to, is this like a second-story window, a first-story window? Because, all right, you see this first one, that looks, you ever seen the Halloween hanging ghosts, they're controlled with wires and a motor and they move? That's what that looks like almost to me.
It does.
And then the second one, the face and the hair come out a lot clearer, which, if it's on glass, it could be a reflection that's in the glass itself.
Yeah.
So
they look so different from one another too, to me.
Yeah, they do. I mean, and you can tell that the angle changes a little bit. Yeah, see that second one, it looks like it's closer up. The bricks are bigger. There's also a little bit more light on it. But I don't know. If I had to say an explanation, I'd say it's a reflection of something in the glass.
That's what I would say too.
I don't know. I mean, the before and afters and all that would have helped.
Right.
Here's the before. There's nothing in it. It's the same angle. Whatever.
Right.
It would have validated that a little bit better. But not necessarily. So yeah, I think there's issues with it. That looks like a person, though.
It does.
Or it could be like a. Heck, it could be a tree. It could be anything that's in the background behind the photographer.
That's just happening
being reflected in there. Yeah. Yep.
It's an interesting photo, though. I had never seen it. I don't know why, because apparently it's pretty popular.
Yeah. Yeah. 1929.
All right, the next one is the 1929 ghost picture. This photo was published locally in 1929. The picture was taken in what was then called the Phantom Wood Mill in early 1929 by builders Robert D. Walsh, and Mr. Walsh was renovating the inner staircase and needed a photographic aid to measure timber needed for the project. Mr. Walsh did not see anything other than the staircase and timber joining the roof while taking the photograph, and he swears that nobody other than himself and his dog were present. However, Mr. Walsh did say that his dog was acting different that afternoon, but he just thought it was because the dog was in a strange place. Mr. Walsh did renovate the mill several weeks later and said he did not see or hear anything unusual at all. The photograph was given to us by Mr. Walsh's great-granddaughter, who wishes to remain anonymous. He died in 1943, having sworn many times that this was an actual ghost photo.
So there it is.
I kind of think that sometimes with some of these photos, if this place has never had any other reports of any type of activity, then it has to be a fluke, you know, with reflecting light, things like that.
Well, that, and the problem with this one, it's not translucent. So there's also some overexposure. You can see the overexposure in the image. What I've read about it is a lot of people are saying it was a dress that was hung up. If you look at the top where, apparently this ghost is headless, but if you look up at the top, it looks like there could be a string or something that's suspending it.
Right, and that would explain it being headless.
So, yeah. So, I'm not real happy about that one. I have a tendency to agree with people. It's more than likely a hoax. Otherwise, why? Have you heard of this one? Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Why isn't it out there if it's such a great ghost picture?
No, I agree.
You know.
And also, I would be interested in, the granddaughter who, quote unquote, wanted to remain anonymous, where the other photos are.
Yeah. Exactly.
To analyze those as well.
Yep. So there you go.
All right.
The 1929 ghost. The next one is called the fire.
This one is Fire Girl. November 19th, 1995. Wynn Town Hall in Shropshire, England, burned to the ground. Many spectators gathered to watch the old building built in 1905 as it was being consumed by the flames. Tony O'Rahilly, a local resident, was one of the onlookers and took a photograph of the spectacle with a 200mm telephoto lens from across the street. One of those photos shows what looks like a small, partially transparent girl standing in the doorway. Neither O'Reilly or any of the other onlookers or firefighters recalled seeing the girl there. O'Reilly submitted the photo to the Association for Scientific Study of, I can never say this word, anomalous phenomenon, which in turn,
good.
All right, which in turn presented it for analysis to Dr. Vernon Harrison, a photographic expert and former president of the Royal Photography Society. Harrison carefully examined both the print and the original negative and concluded that it was genuine. The negative is a straightforward piece of black and white work and shows no sign of having been tampered with. But who is the little girl? A quiet market town in northern Shropshire had been ravaged by the fire in the past. In 1677, historical records note a fire destroyed many of the town's timber houses. A young girl named Jane Cherm, as the legend said, accidentally set fire to the thatched roof with a candle. Many believe her ghost haunted the area and has been seen on other occasions.
Yep. You see her? Right here.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So that's the ghost.
I'm interested to know, though. I mean, this was done in 1995.
Mm-hmm.
What? It's kind of hard to see with a black and white camera, but...
Well, this one's really controversial. I mean, if you get into the skeptic blogs, they're hammering it.
Right.
Some people are saying it's manipulated. Other people are saying that there's video lines.
Mm-hmm.
So they think, it's manipulated that way. Maybe a picture of a video that was out there. Who knows? But, I mean, part of it just doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
So.
It's one of those things, too, where it doesn't matter what people say about a photo, whether it's genuine or not genuine. People are going to believe what they want to believe.
Yep. Let's see. So here's what they said. The video, let's see, says the video goes to the National Museum of Photography, Film, and Television. in Bradford, England. They spoke to a guy named Will Stapp, who was the head of interpretation. And he states the photo does look manipulated. He said, we then cut to Paul Thompson, who was their photographic officer. He examined the negative of the image in the photo, but probably not the original negative. And if you go to about.com, Stephen Wagner, who's the guy that edits that, makes reference of that it might not be. Anyway, he says that he sees scan lines that are consistent with a television image on the image of the girl, meaning that the girl's image was likely pasted into the photograph, as the horizontal scan lines are not found anywhere else in the photo. The fact that he doesn't have the negative doesn't mean anything. The photographer could produce a negative that isn't the original photo. And that's perfectly true. Of course you can. Photographic process allows a person to take a photo of a doctored photo. That's the problem with 35 millimeter film. The ultimate way to fake a 35 millimeter. I want to tell everybody this. I said I'd never tell you. The ultimate way with 35 millimeter film to fake a ghost photograph is to doctor one, take a copy of the print, and then take a picture of the print, and it will pass everybody's thing.
Huh.
So that was the. I normally don't like to talk about that because
people will do it.
People, oh yeah, because remember, I don't remember if you're back in the day. There was this huge argument when digital technology came out. Which one's better? And everybody's like, well, it has to be 35 millimeter because you have a negative, and the negative is the proof. No, you can fake stuff very, very easily with that. So, yeah, not good. Anyway.
No.
Okay, so see, what was our next?
Freddie Jackson.
Freddie Jackson, okay.
I have never heard of this one either. You got some good ones.
Freddie Jackson.
New to me as well.
I'm sure you've seen this one.
No.
You've never seen this one?
No, I have never seen it.
Okay, well.
So here, let's. The intriguing photo taken in 1919 was first published in 1975 by Sir Victor Goddard, a retired Air Force officer. Assuming. The photo was a group portrait of Goddard's squadron, which had served in World War I at HMS. You'll have to say that. Daedalus?
Yeah.
Training facility. An extra ghostly face appears in the photo. In the back, the airman positioned at the top row, fourth from the left, can be clearly seen. You can clearly see his face. It is said to be the face of Freddie Jackson, an air mechanic who had been accidentally killed by an airplane propeller 2 days earlier. His funeral had taken place on the day the photograph was snapped. Members of the squadron easily recognized the face as Jackson's. It has been suggested that Jackson, unaware of his death, decided to show up for the group photo.
Yeah. Now, let me back up. You see it?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the problem with this.
Okay.
This whole story has been said, or it has been suggested. By whom and by why should we care? I can say that mountains are made out of chocolate candy. There. It has been said that mountains are made of chocolate candy. Does it make it true?
That's true.
It can clearly be seen. Well, I'll be the judge of what can clearly be seen.
Yeah.
Members of the squadron clearly recognize the face as, how do we know this? From what historical record is this information taken?
Right.
Is there any affidavits from any other members of the squadron saying that this is the guy and it was taken after his death? You see, that's a problem with a lot of these. Without the backstory, there's no reason to believe that there's anything ghostly about the photograph at all. We don't even know if there was someone named Freddie Jackson, much less that his ghost is showing up. All we have is the testimony of this one guy, Victor Goddard, who, in a lot of the skeptical articles I was reading, they're saying that he was fond of telling fantastical stories about time travel, dream premonitions, and ghosts.
Ah, well.
So, yeah.
There's a big flashing light.
So,
well, not to mention, you would also need some type of proof that he did die before the photo was taken.
Before the photo was taken.
You would need documentation that the photograph was taken on the day of his funeral. Some type of record from the military.
A little something more than what we got.
We have nothing.
But we don't.
Nope. Looks like a regular old photo to me.
Now, I'm sure you've seen this one. The Filipino ghost thing.
That kind of looks like double exposure.
Yeah, it's not necessarily double exposure. It's a very slow exposure because it's a night shot. And you take the picture, and the guy goes up, touches, and moves back, and it leaves a ghostly image.
Ooh.
But yet somehow it's always winding up on these lists of the top 10 most famous.
Now, is that... Hold on, I have to say something.
What?
Is that girl topless in the photo, or am I crazy?
No, it's her. She's wearing a... Look.
Oh, it's like a beige color?
Yeah, it's a beige color. See, there's the
Okay.
collar, and yeah.
Okay.
She has no chi-chis.
Okay. So I can't tell from over here. It just looks like
Yeah.
maybe they're outside of a gentleman's club.
And the ghost comes up. Ooh, got $1.
$5.
So, yeah. And then we have the Queen Mary ghost photograph.
Hmm.
Well, a lot of problems with this one as well. And the biggest of which, before and after photographs aren't there, it's possible that it could be another exposure trick. Because you notice how the bottom of the legs are a little bit fainter than the top part?
Right.
Which would suggest that. But yet this is another one that's out there saying it's a famous ghost photograph.
There's another ghost photograph that I've seen, and I'll have to get the name of it so you can look at it, but they're saying the reason they know it's a ghost is because when they used to take photos of it, you could see the full body apparition. Well, the building went through renovations, and the floor was raised about 6 or 7 inches. So now when people get a photograph of the ghostly anomaly, did you see I said the word?
Anomaly. Yeah. Practicing.
Yep, anomaly. Half the legs are, or not half, but mid calf is cut off.
Yeah. Well.
I'll have to show you.
Yeah, we'll have to.
My mom believes that is a real photo. She is dead set on believing it.
Oh, well. Then of course we have this one. This is obviously a Photoshop job.
Right.
And the biggest reason it tells you that is this is the ghost tracks in San Antonio, which has been debunked. The whole story has been debunked.
Right.
So obviously somebody, back in the day, this is actually fairly old, was trying to make their point. It's called my group, the Texas Lulu Yahoo Ghost Hunting Group, caught a picture of an apparition there. So.
And how was it debunked?
The ghost tracks themselves?
Yeah.
The story isn't true. There's according to that legend, a busload of kids was hit on a train track. And then the legend goes on to say the streets, which are named after children, were named after the people that died in the crash. Well, such a thing never happened in San Antonio. Happened, I think, in Utah or somewhere up further north. And it was big news, so it was around at the time. But that never happened. The streets were named after the children of the guys that built the project, the head council members and whatnot. And it's a gravity hill. Because if you go out there and you park your car, and you put it in neutral, very important, put it in neutral. Let your foot off the brake, your car will be pushed over the
And is that the
railroad
one
track.
with you put the powder on the back and the
that's the same one.
handprints? And it's the oil from your hands?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's that one. So if the story itself is debunked, then what else do you got? You know? Oh, then there's this one. This one I know you've seen.
Yes.
You see the
famous
Boot Hill photograph, which a lot of people still are. The thing about this one, though, is that, to circle the dude here, that's the actual guy. The skeptics say that is actually a part of you see how the tombstones are out there. They're saying that this bottom part, let me draw it again, this part is actually a tombstone, and somebody put a hat on top of the tombstone.
Okay.
I have a tendency to agree with that, because when you look at, if you go to Boot Hill and you look off the distance, there were a couple of times. In fact, that last time we went,
right,
me and Zero were there, and we were out walking around Boot Hill graveyard, and I could see where somebody could, if you took a picture and you aimed it that way, that might look like a person.
Yeah.
With a black and white camera. Color, we were trying to replicate it. Color, it doesn't quite do it, because you can see the difference between everything. But
but when it's black and white, it kind of leaves out detail.
Yeah, it does, and you lose a lot of stuff with it. So, unfortunately, but that's just the way that goes. What can you do, right? Okay.
Not a darn thing.
No, not really. Are we ready for some news, and then we'll do our ghost video of the week?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to Post-Mortem, the latest paranormal news with Racer.
Is an orb, what we call an orb, that's going to come right across the other bed and just kind of disappear right at the camera.
You're going to see the shape around the corner which resembles a face.
Oh, pardon me, that's your ass.
We have to dig from here so as not to be seen. Come on, bitches.
All right. Some of these are a little silly, but I thought they were entertaining to read. This one is called The Ox Files. Mass cow sacrifices by aliens sent the White House into a panic. And it has the FBI records to prove it. And this article is from the dailymail.co.uk, and it's by Richard Hartley Parkinson. Cows were sacrificed by aliens, sending the White House into a panic. Declassified FBI files have been revealed. It is claimed that more than 8,000 cows were abducted by UFOs and were being mutilated and thrown back over the earth in the southern United States. And this has apparently happened in the 1970s. Well, this memo has now come up to... I can't even talk. I just read something. It's very interesting. I didn't realize it's in Tucumcari, New Mexico, actually.
No kidding?
Yeah. So this actually happened October 29th in 1975 in Tucumcari, New Mexico. And they were bulls. They were found the sexual organs and tongue had been taken. That's right. And also the left ear. There were no track evidence specified. And varmints, it literally says varmints had eaten on the animal through the night.
Now, couldn't that be? Remember we were doing that show about the mesa up in Dulce? Mm-hmm. Wasn't this kind of like tied to that? Like, because remember they had all the cow mutilations and whatnot. I wonder if that has anything to do with it, because that's not far from Tucumcari.
So they were saying that the files detail how the aliens took trophies from their victims and in the form of body parts, and some cases drained the animals entirely of their blood.
Like we're Predator?
Yeah. One investigator's theory was that these animals are picked up by aircraft, mutilated elsewhere, and returned and dropped from the aircraft at the same location. They're saying that now there have been more taking place all over the Southwest. Whoever's responsible is well organized with boundless technology, financing, and secrecy. So if you do go to this website and you look it up, you can pull up the quote-unquote documentation of the FBI agent's report. So
now, one of the things that when you look at some of these documents, you really have to take into context who's writing it, who are they writing it to?
Well, how do we know they didn't write it last week and faked it?
No, well, there's something about this came up about the Aztec UFO crash, and it was a letter like that was put out public. And what the letter actually was, it was someone in the FBI who was informing his superiors of, hey, so-and-so said this happened. That's not saying that it happened.
Right.
He's just reporting that someone said this. So the question would be with those letters, why are the letters written? Who's being told what, and yada yada. So a lot of times that's when it falls apart.
So, but I mean, they're trying to tie it all in with Roswell and everything, because New Mexico is very big on being the aliens' vacation spot.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have our Bigfoot news, and it is one of the first reports of two big feets. What did we decide it was?
It's big feets. That's what we're calling them.
Big
plural.
feets. The Bigfoot duo reported at Nelson Lake in Wisconsin. Somebody had a sighting on June 26th around 8 p.m. at Nelson Lake, Wisconsin. He was fishing in his canoe and 30 yards from the shore near Tanning Point when he noticed a whimpering sound. It was coming from the woods and the shoreline. It sounded like a dog whining, so he stopped what he was doing and watched the woods to see if anything appeared. After a few seconds, I saw a child scampering from the woods. The child had very thick brown hair all over its body and was very small, human toddler size. It quickly showed itself and then bolted back towards the woods. I sat there in shock, but within seconds I heard 3 distinct angry grunts, then saw a large ape-like head rise above the lower tree boughs. The eyes were barely visible, but I could tell that it didn't want me there. That was enough for me, so I started to paddle towards the north shore when all of a sudden I heard a loud plop then splash behind the boat. I turned around to see a rock headed in my direction.
Yeah, I didn't read that story either, did I?
No.
Yeah.
It was many yards from the boat, but I got the message. He says he's done fishing there, but it's I think one of the first reports of big feats or a Bigfoot duo.
Throwing rocks.
And a child. Has there been reports of a
baby Bigfoots?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, all right, we're ready.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that then. Here we go.
I just hear that name and I shudder.
Mega bitch!
Do it again.
Mega bitch!
Dumb bitch.
Did you call me? What? I'm sorry, I heard dumb bitch. I assume you're speaking to me.
No, I'm talking to her.
Your name is Dumb Bitch too? No wonder I've been getting all your mail. Do you think we could be related? Because there are a lot of us dumb bitches.
All right, so this one I had to read. I mean, it's a little bit of an older article, but man, it's hysterical. It's from trendsupdates.com, and it is ghost repellent by Super Boondy to cast off evil spirits from your house. And just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at a tan box that's a perfect square, probably about 6 inches by 6 inches. Has a little, like a video, video lens, and a button on top to turn it on, and a little, a light gauge at the bottom that goes, on each side it goes red and then meets in the middle to green. And if you are the sort of a person who believes that your house is jinxed or haunted, you have reason to smile. You can now literally cast off evil spirits by using the Trisakiri ghost repellent invented by Ghostbusters at Super Boondy. This device has a special wave killer technology that will not only cast the evil spirits away, but will leave only the good spirits. Apparently, it received a bad review ever since it was first offered online. Moreover, many do not seem to believe in it. However, Super Boondy believes that this ghost repellent would be great to use, especially for those of you who just bought a new house. All you have to do is switch it on, and it automatically uses a low-level magnetic field and a camera or phenomenon receptor. This signal is then converted to radio signal and transmitted to killer wave. So they've named it killer wave.
There we go.
The ghost or evil spirit apparently will then be destroyed at this process. The device has been designed in such a way that it ignores the AC fields of power lines, appliances, and etc., and only interacts with ghosts, and does no harm to humans.
Then, how do you know it ain't going to zap your cat?
Yeah. So that's it. The ghost repellent by Super Boondy.
Yeah, whatever.
I know what you're thinking.
I was going to go there, and I refrained. Do you
You
see that
refrained.
self-control? I'm the
did.
epitome of self-control. But we do have something really cool.
Okay.
So we do a weekly ghost video.
Mm-hmm.
And I found one this week, and it was Wisconsin Paranormal Group. They're giving credit in the video at the end. And they came across something. Now, first part of this video is actually very funny.
Okay.
Basically, he's saying the members of his team chose not to show up for the ghost hunt. So basically, he said, "Hey, I'm going to do it myself."
That's safe.
So, so there's that issue. Let me turn this off here. And then, so he's off doing this stuff by himself, and well, this happens. Watch.
Camera set up in this corner here, and I'm just going to sit. We got a furnace running, so there's sound, but I'm just going to sit and listen, and just let the camera roll, and I don't know. see what happens. It's in here for a while. Something just moved behind me. Jeez. Something just moved behind me. Jeez. Okay. I don't see anything. Out here. I don't know if that seat was done. I have no idea. All the seats are up in this theater. This one's down. We got lights on in here. We got lights on. We're in the basement of the Alchemist, and it's about 1 a.m. And I'm shooting the first round through this hallway here, behind the door. And there's, of course, back in this. We'll shoot this a little bit later, look into the rooms that are open. But this is where I kept hearing doors opening and closing and just stuff that I couldn't see. But I have a couple lights on this time to help. Okay. Okay, it's 1:15. I haven't heard anything yet. I haven't even gone back yet to check on this prop that's there. I keep hearing things walking around, but that's probably tenants upstairs. So, it sounds like from upstairs, but there might be people up there. Alright. It's 1:25. Still haven't heard anything besides random creaking. Look at this door here. Oh, jeez. Let's make some more noise. Hello? Anybody in here? Well, besides the people upstairs. Okay. Well, I'm gonna look, see if this prop is still back here again. And we'll take a look. Come on! See if this prop is still back here again. And we'll take a look. Come on! That's not cool. The door open? No, the door is open. That door is closing. Anybody's gonna mess with me, I'm gonna kick your ass. Oh, jeez. Okay, flashlight. Hello? Hello? Okay, I don't see anything in here. Hello? Hey.
So there you go. This is just some replays of the door opening by itself. One of the things I hate, if it's real, don't add music. I mean, it makes it seem very Hollywoodish, like it's staged that way. But this angle, my complaint is you can't see the bottom of the door, but on the first door it opens. This one you can actually see, and that is a prop. And if you listen closely, he's going back to see if the prop is still there. The door, though, when he's approaching it, it opens before he even gets there. So I was looking at that, going, okay, how would you make it open? I mean, we can tell there's nobody in the room. How would you make the door open unless it's just the way the door is designed? I could see it opening slowly, but the second time, it's bam.
Yeah.
And then the other one is really, like bam.
The other one's like kicked open.
So
see?
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't show it, but
I think it will go to that. We'll see. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of a different video.
Yeah.
If it is faked, it was done very, very well.
Yeah.
But his reactions seem genuine. If you look at his
really
facial expressions, he gets scared.
Yeah.
Either that or he's a really good actor. So.
And, I think that in most situations, so if somebody were faking it, he would have just, ran out. But, I mean, he remembered his cameras. He was like, I got to get my cameras out. I mean, he seemed very...
Yeah.
That's why, I think that's one of those things where you don't do it alone.
Well, I mean, like, here's a great example. He's alone in the dark, right? And when the door slams, he falls down. This I don't understand. I don't understand the going to black. That seems suspicious. But see, or he falls down there, and you can tell that.
You can see his face. I mean,
like,
his face
ouch, I just fell and hit something. I don't like the going to black.
Yeah.
When that door opens. That should have been left on. I don't think, unless the camera went black, but I doubt that.
I think it kind of goes to show, too, one of the number one rules of ghost hunting is don't ever go alone.
Well, what if he impaled himself on a bicycle part?
Or I mean, what if the door would have smacked him in the face and, rendered him unconscious?
So. Yeah.
Broken a bone, couldn't get out.
But there you go. That's what happens. Still, I thought it was kind of interesting.
That is an interesting video.
It is interesting, so we'll keep an eye on that team and see what else they come out with.
Yep.
So hopefully it is legit. If it is, I mean, I've had doors open like that before on ghost hunts.
Right.
So I'm not disbelieving in it. It's just that first door you can't see the bottom. But looking at it, maybe you can't move the camera back more. But yeah.
I think sometimes people don't think about that detail, though.
Well, and you got to, though. I mean, a lot of it's you live and learn, and you go, oh, okay, well, maybe we could have done that better.
Right.
So, okay, anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for this one. One of the things, remember the Ecto Radio app is out there if you want it. And
download it.
Somebody asked me,
it's free.
Do we have anything for an iPhone? No. The reason is development for iPhone. I haven't found anything that lets you do it for free. They want to charge you like $400 to make an iPhone app. So I would have to probably at least charge something substantial.
Yeah.
To even do that. So we're not going to do that. It's
So if you don't have the Droid application, you can obviously go to www.ectoradio.com.
Yeah, and they're all free. So you can get them that way. And if you haven't friended us on Facebook yet, please do so. Any comments you guys got, put them below. And we'll answer questions you got. Or if you have something you'd like us to go over, something in a show we haven't ever gone over before. And
what are we doing next week? We did top photographs. What about top videos? People love to see videos. I like to see videos.
Tentatively, we'll do top videos unless a listener comes up with a better idea.
Okay.
Okay, how about that? I think that's just the first way to go about it. And then we'll just do that. And keep in mind, we're going to be back on here in a little bit. The revamped Ecto Radio Horror Show.
It's going to be amazing.
And they are going to... Oh, we are podcasting them separately. We've done some experiments.
Yes.
I podcasted them separately. I podcasted them together in one big bang. People seem to like the two different. Because some people just want to, have the horror show and some don't. So we'll do that.
Either way, we got something for everyone.
Yeah. So that's it for us. Good night.
We'll
or
see
day or whatever.
Good night, day.